I'm afraid we've disappointed the Obamas again. Once again, we haven't lived up to their high standards.
But now there's a black woman running for governor in the state of Virginia, and Barack Obama is endorsed. You see, this is where you have certain black cards that need to get revoked because this person posted an entire video basically nitpicking Barack Obama for his endorsements and what he has to say. And it's pretty much just based on the absence of his knowledge of the phrase, not all skin folk are kinfolk.
First off, you don't get to decide who keeps their black card and who doesn't. You're not God. Second, it's funny you mentioned me not understanding the concept of all skin folk and kinfolk. Let's go back in time a little bit. I'm gonna guess you're a foundational black American. I'm a foundational black American. Guys, just for context, when I say foundational black American, I simply mean black people here whose ancestors were slaves. Well, my ancestors were likely slaves. His ancestors were likely slaves. Now, how did our ancestors get here? Let's think about that for a second. Do you think a bunch of white Europeans were running around in the middle of Africa hunting down black people? No. It was black Africans hunting down other black Africans and selling them to white Europeans. African kingdoms would raid other kingdoms, capture those people, and sell them to Europeans as slaves. You had raids, you had wars. Long story short, the vast majority of black Americans here today, their ancestors were captured by other black Africans in Africa and sold to Europeans as slaves. So the entire reason that I'm here, and he's likely here, is quite literally because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Anyone with half a brain realizes this. Also, 85 to 90% of the time a black person murdered, it's at the hands of another black person. Again, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You sound ignorant, but I'm gonna let you continue.
The person who's posting this video is not kinfolk, right?
Yes, what this guy said, he is right. I reacted to that video a few days ago, and when I look at what he said, it was just normal. Barack Obama came out to endorse Kamala, and he was furious with black people. Like, why will you abandon a black person? Meanwhile, we know that Kamala is not black. At that time, it went out on social media. Everybody was talking about that. Out of a sudden, Obama is now campaigning for a white lady. Meanwhile, a black person is there. This tells me something. They just want power. That was all I said on that video. But these liberals took it to another turn on TikTok, saying some ridiculous things about this guy.
The person who's posting this video is not kinfolk, right? He's self-hating, self-critical, clearly has like some deep-rooted, unresolved issues or traumas with his own community.
You spent all those words attacking me because you couldn't prove what I said wrong. Yes, it's very obvious all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And rather than just focusing on policy, Barack Obama was choosing to make things about race. And like I said, he was working to manipulate black Americans' racial sensitivity for Democrats' benefit. That's why he was bringing race up. He shouldn't even have brought race up at all. He should have just talked about policy, but he didn't. That was on purpose. So again, thank you for helping me prove my point. But this is what happens when you're not stuck on the Democratic plantation. Other black Americans tell you you hate yourself because you need to be a good boy and be a Democrat like us, and that means you love yourself. Go sit down, please. Also, just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter.
As Stephen L. Miller on X put it, I'm afraid we've disappointed the Obamas again. Once again.
I'm not surprised to see these guys reply. If you are a Democrat and a black person, they are all for you. Anything you say, you are right. Immediately you deviate, start having this kind of conversation. This is how they see you. So that has been a thing for a very long time. 2 days ago, I posted a video about Michelle Obama. That was during an interview on ABC. I don't know if it's ABC. She had everything surrounding that interview. She talks about race. Promoting her new book, she talks about race, and this has drawn a lot of attention on social media. Megyn Kelly had a good reaction to that. I want to show you that video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share out this video.
As Stephen L. Miller on X put it, I'm afraid we've disappointed the Obamas again. Once again, we haven't lived up to their high standards, and we're essentially being called racist Here's Michelle Obama, who's promoting a new book on her special fashion, and sat down with People magazine and said the following in SOT 26.
Hair as women of color, that the way our hair naturally grows out of our head is beautiful. But if we struggle to make it look like the standard, that means we are spending thousands of hours and lots of money straightening out what is naturally curly hair, right? And that takes time out of your life. It costs money.
Okay. So what she's saying is she's bitter because society's standards, in her view, don't allow Black women to just walk around with their natural hair. That is bullshit. Black women can walk around with whatever hair they want. Only in Michelle Obama's warped mind do white people not like them unless their hair looks like white hair. And here's the other thing. The nerve of this woman to pretend that Black women are the only women who have to spend a bunch of time getting their natural hair to, quote, conform to these alleged society standards. Because virtually every woman I know, every woman spends a shit ton of time on her hair and wants it to look better than God made it. It's not a Black thing. It's a human thing, and it's especially a woman thing. But she's always reducing everything to race.
My hair naturally should be coming down to my shoulders. I should have a mustache and a beard. Why should I have to shave that off and cut it? I mean, what oppressor is forcing that on me? It shouldn't be sexism. It shouldn't be gray either. I should have to color it. I've defied conventional standards by not doing so. And also thousands of dollars on your hair. Well, how does she know? I bet she spends tens of thousands.
Megyn Kelly is right. Nobody is complaining or stopping you to do whatever thing you want. Nobody's doing that. The question I raised on one of my videos, I usually don't see Black people saying this or complaining like this. They don't do that. Why only people like this? Michelle Obama is rich, right? She's having a lot of money. I really don't expect her to be doing this every single time. It's getting boring. Every single time she's complaining of this, that, and people are noticing it. It gets on my nerves. But I just always try my best, to show you what is going on. For years now, I've been following them up, trying to see what is going on. And here we are now talking about issue of hairs. Crazy, right?
I would say to you, I don't know that West Virginia is a moderate state. It voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, who is not a moderate president.
3 times.
3 times.
Over 40. He beat Hillary by 41 points.
Right.
He beat Joe. He got lost to Joe Biden.
But not in West Virginia.
No, he still won by 40 points.
Right. This let me know one thing. This ain't got nothing to do with color. This ain't got nothing to do with color. It's either God's side or Satan's side.
And do more.
So when he's talking to Black men about voting for Kamala Harris, he makes sure to make it about race and say she's like you. You need to vote for her. But now let's translate that to the governor's race in Virginia. You have a Black woman running. Her name is Winsome Earl Sears. And a white woman named Abigail Spanberger. Let's take a look and see who Barack Obama endorsed.
Virginia's elections are some of the most important in the country this year. And I am proud to endorse Abigail Spanberger for governor.
But Barack Obama was just telling Black men that we should have voted for Kamala Harris because she's Black and has similar experiences as us. But now there's a Black woman running for governor in the state of Virginia, and Barack Obama is endorsing the white woman. Why is that? Because it's not about aligning yourself with people that look like you. It's about Democrats staying in power.
Because you didn't get at least until the country came to know us.
She's still bitter about it. Here's Michelle Obama. This is why she's on my mind. She's now, remember, she just literally 10 days ago, she was out there complaining about how famous she is, and she's very annoyed at her fame. And she hates going into restaurants, and people are always looking at her. So what do? You start a podcast, a video, a YouTube show, and also debut a new book.
That should tell you a lot about these people. I'm going to end here. I want to appreciate people constantly supporting me, sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly. please subscribe. When you see my notification, always share the videos. So the short clips at the end, that is for the YT algorithm.
God's side or Satan's side?
That as a first black couple, we couldn't afford any missteps.
Yeah. As women of color, that aren't ready. And that was my first instinct.
To have more Republicans on the show, but they don't want to come on. They're scared of us.
It's history.
Point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic.
He even gets an off
If the Democrats
thing, because how many times somebody asks
for
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American...
Give interviews, I don't do them.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama.
He's blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC.
Want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Well, Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show.
To spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not
all the same people that are in these polite...
Disagree with what Gavin Newsom said that he doesn't...
Dave Chappelle.
Without of interest.
I mentioned last night Trump was bragging about how...
Hey, this goes out to all you so-called black women.